Hi guys, get ready with me to talk about Scientology. I know it's a little bit of a controversial topic, but you know what? Why not? I'm just kidding, this is just for research purposes. So to quickly give a little background to what it is that I'm exactly conducting. This is a research project that I had to do for my school, of course it is. And basically we had to choose a community that we are not currently a part of or haven't been a part of, and we had to observe and report on it. And I thought that it would be a fun and interesting idea to do the Scientology religion. Just because I don't really have any prior knowledge to what the religion is about, kind of what they believe in or how they contribute to society. And of course the overachiever in me wanted to do something that I don't think that many people would want to talk about or wouldn't be their community of choice. So for this, I went to the Scientology church that is here in Phoenix, Arizona off of 44th Street. And mind you, when I first told people that I was doing this project, they were like, oh, make sure you have someone with you, make sure that you're not going alone, just in case they try to force their beliefs on you or hold you hostage. Which at first glance, or when I first heard it, I was like, that's a really odd thing to say. But I guess given their background or, how people perceive Scientologists to be, I can understand why I was told that. I've heard a lot of common misconceptions about Scientology, how they're very aggressive and they're very if you don't join this religion, we're gonna hurt you, or something along those lines. So naturally, especially being a younger female college student, I thought it would be in my best interest and for safety purposes to bring someone with me, just so that way I wasn't alone, just in case. So I ended up going with one of my really good friends, and when we had gotten there, just right off the bat, it didn't seem off, but it seemed very secluded and private. There was only one way out and one way in to the information center / church, which I can understand because Scientology is kind of a private, more secluded religion. But honestly, I feel like for a place to have been founded in Phoenix, or at least so they believe, you'd think that they would have more of an open, church. Anyway, so when we had gotten inside, we were the only two people in that information center. And mind you, we had gone at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday, so I guess that's kind of understandable, but it was crickets in that building. And to make a relatively long story short, when you first go in, there is a ton of boards and information, kind of not posters, but walls of just information. They also had a ton of informational videos that you could sit down and watch and just kind of soak up all of the information. The walls had a bunch of information on it, but the videos were the ones that explained everything. I couldn't get any video footage or photos because they were very strict about not recording, which again is understandable. But this lovely woman named Jillian ended up coming around and helping us and answering some of the questions that we had. I mean, at the moment we didn't really have any questions, but she was just kind of explaining what the walls were saying and what the videos meant. Overall, it was a pretty interesting experience, I would say. So part of the project was we had to conduct an interview with someone who was a part of the community, and I tried to get Jillian to talk to me, but she was just not having it. So she ended up giving me the contact information for the director of special affairs, Ginny Leeson, at the church in Phoenix. And surprisingly enough, I think I actually learned more about Scientology during my interview rather than at the information center, which is kind of odd to say. But I just felt like it was more of a personal insight, so I felt that I learned more. So anyways, through my talking with Ginny, I learned a lot about how involved Scientologists are, especially in communities. They are super, super involved in charity activities, and they are very, very anti-drug. They do a lot of anti-drug campaigns, and they're super involved with that, especially in youth. And I thought that was super, super, super interesting. And we did talk a little bit about some of the misconceptions that Scientology has, especially since does have a very controversial background. we kind of addressed those two. She told me that she had felt that like she wishes that people understood that like Scientology isn't just like a kind of like a freak religion. She also pointed out that it's very commonly misconcepted that Scientologists are forced to do everything, and she's like, no, that's not even true. Like everything that we do is strictly voluntary, which I think clears up a lot. And she also explained to me how over time like she has just really become a much better person. Like her communication skills are better, and she just is more like friendly towards people, especially since Scientology focuses a lot on communication skills and how to become like a happier and better self. Basically, she says that she's feeling more control in her life. One of the questions that I had asked her was like, are there anything that you do on your day-to-day basis that relate to Scientology? And she was like, well, not really. I mean, she applies everything that she's learned thus far into her daily life without really realizing it. She said that there aren't anything that's like ritualistic, any ritual activities, especially in Scientology when everything is very like self-led. Like she's like, I don't really do anything like pray. And so just talking to her, just to make a pretty long story short, I was able to get a better insight of how people in Scientology act and how they handle their daily lives and what things they do to make themselves kind of into their healthiest and happiest self. Just in this overall experience, I was able to kind of get a better eye and understand better like of the different religions around me, and just kind of understand what exactly Scientologists believe in and what they do. Just because going into this I feel like I didn't really know anything about them. I kind of had this like vision that like, oh, they're like rude people, they're crazy, they're, you know, a cult. But being able to go into this and kind of just like observe and really kind of see things in a different lens, really this whole experience was very, very eye-opening. Obviously, I have no plans to join the church or anything like that. I just thought it was super cool that I was able to, you know, get this experience and be able to kind of look at Scientology in a different way. So anyways, there's my little ramble about Scientology. If you guys want to know more, I can, you know, make more videos about it, everything like that. But thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.